Imagine a small general store with 3 cash registers, each operated by a different clerk, James, Rose, and Sarah. At the end of each day, James, Rose, and Sarah count the money and record the total sales in their own Google Sheet. Now, the store owner doesn't want to open 3 separate files just to see how much money came in. Instead, he wants one master sheet that updates automatically, showing not just daily totals, but also monthly, quarterly, and yearly sales. Let's build this dashboard together. Before we start, make sure each clerk's sheet has the same structure. Column A is for date, and column B is for total sales. Then copy the spreadsheet ID of each clerk's spreadsheet and paste it into cells E4, E5, and E6 in your master sheet. That way we can refer to them easily inside our formulas. Now we want to import the data from 3 clerks' spreadsheets. But first, let's start simple. We'll import sales data from one clerk, for example James. We'll use the IMPORTRANGE function. The general format of this function is displayed below. It has 2 parts. The first part, the spreadsheet URL, is the link to the source file, basically where the data is coming from. In our example, that link is stored in cell E4. The second part, range string, tells Google Sheets exactly what to import, the sheet name and the specific cells you want. Here, daily sales, James, A: B, means we're pulling columns A and B, which contains the date and sales, from the sheet name daily sales James. Now that we understand the structure, let's put it into action. In cell A1, type this. After pressing enter, you might see a reference error message. That's normal. Google Sheets is asking for permission to connect to other spreadsheets. Click Allow Access and your data from James' sheet will load automatically. And that's it, you've successfully imported sales data from James using the IMPORTRANGE function. Next, let's bring in Sarah's data. We'll use curly braces to combine both data sets vertically. We can modify the formula by adding a semicolon. Next, we'll copy the IMPORTRANGE formula used for James's data and adjust it for Sarah. To do this, change E4 to E5 to refer to Sarah's spreadsheet ID. Then update the sheet name to daily sales Sarah. There's no need to change the column names for now, since both spreadsheets share the same structure. And that's it. This stacks Sarah's data right below James's, so now we can see both clerk cells in one list. Now that we've combined James's and Sarah's sheets, you might notice blank rows between 2 datasets. Let's fix that with the filter function. Filter basically lets us show only the rows that meet the condition. In this case, we only want rows where the date column, that's column A, isn't blank. Alright, now let's filter the rows from our sheets so we only keep the ones where column A isn't empty. We'll start with James's sheet. Type filter before the IMPORTRANGE formula, add a comma, and then copy the same IMPORTRANGE again and wrap it with not is blank. Just make sure to change the range from B to A in the second IMPORTRANGE because we're checking if column A has data. In plain English, this means import James' data, columns A and B, but only keep the rows where column A isn't empty. We do the same for Sarah's sheet right after the semicolon. That inserts her filtered data below James's data. So now we've got a nice clean list with no empty gaps. Next issue is repeated headers. Since both James and Sarah's sheets start with a header row like date and sales, we'll end up with 2 sets of headers in our combined data. To fix that, we'll simply escape Sarah's header, the second dataset's header, by starting from row 2. Instead of A:B, we use A2:B in Sarah's IMPORTRANGE. We also changed A:A in not is blank to A2:A. That tells sheets to start from the second row, escaping the sheet's header of Sarah. Everything else stays the same. We're still filtering out blank rows and stacking her data right below James's. Now we got one clean header at the top, followed by both clerk cells data, ready for analysis. Finally, let's bring in Rose's sales data in the same way. We'll add one specific filter line for her. Now all three clerks, James, Sarah, and Rose are combined into one sheet. Whenever they update their own files, this master sheet refreshes automatically. With all your data in one place, you can now insert a pivot table to analyze the total sales per year month, year quarter, or year, for example. To insert a pivot table, go to Insert and click Pivot Table. Make sure the date range is set to this sheet and includes all your data from column A to column B, rows 1 to 1098, including the headers. Then select New Sheet to place the pivot table on a separate page and click Create. On the new sheet, add date to rows and total sales to values. This gives you a pivot table that shows each date and the combined total sales that all staff entered for the same date. For example, the total sales for November 3rd on sheet 1 are $19,095 as shown in the pivot table. Now I want to show total sales using a scorecard. Select the entire pivot table except the last row, which is the grand total. Then go to Insert and select Chart and choose a scorecard as a chart type. For the key value, select sum of total sales and remove the baseline value. Make sure the aggregate box is checked and the sum is selected. Now open the Customize tab. Under Key Value, set the scale factor to 1 million. Set the number format to custom and add the suffix "n". Finally, change the title to Total Sales. This displays your total sales in millions. Just note that the value may be rounded. Next, select any date in the pivot table. Right-click, choose Create Pivot Date Group, and select Year Month. This groups the date by month within a specific year, so you can easily see total sales for each month of a specific year instead of daily totals. For example, the total sales for October 2024 are about $630,000. Okay, copy this year-month table and then paste the year-month table somewhere on the sheet using Paste Special Paste Formula. Next, insert a line chart by selecting the entire year-month table, but leave out the last row with the grand total. Then go to Insert and click Chart. This gives you a line chart that shows the total sales for each month within the year. For this quiz, I want to ask you how you can make pivot tables and line charts by year and by year quarter. You can pause the video and write your answer in the comments. We'll go over the answer shortly. Similarly, you can create year and year quarter tables to track the total sales. The great thing about this dashboard is that the tables are dynamic. For example, if James adds a new sales entry to his data set, the tables update automatically. However, the charts and the scorecard won't update on their own always. You'll need to reinsert them using the same steps I explained earlier. And that's it. We took 3 separate sales sheets and turned them into one automated master file that updates itself. You'll learn how to combine data with import range, clean it with filter, build pivot tables, and create charts to track monthly, quarterly, and yearly trends. If you also want to learn how to create dynamic dashboards using Power BI to make faster and smarter decisions, I highly recommend watching this beginner-friendly video.
If you find this tutorial helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with your friends. Thank you very much for watching, and see you in the next one.